Ano? Dito maganda ang beach. Pagliko lang ito kayo. O pagliko minsan din. O balera sa dito.
Welcome to our beautiful city of Amsterdam, and welcome aboard this unique canal cruise.
To make this journey as safe and pleasant as possible, please follow these rules of the boat. Please do not stand on the chairs or benches. The space behind the captain should be kept free of any objects. And whatever you do, please keep your arms and head inside the boat at all times. Some of the bridges are very low, and they come up suddenly.
In the case of an emergency, take a moment to note where the emergency exits are. There are two at the front of the boat, one to the left and one to the right, and another through the hatch door in the roof. This boat is equipped with life-saving equipment. And if an emergency situation arises, the captain will distribute them and give you instructions. Remember, this is a non-smoking cruise.
When you exit the boat, please check and double-check that you have all your belongings with you. Any questions? Your captain is here to assist you. Now, sit back, relax, and enjoy the cruise.
Sit back, relax.
Welcome to Amsterdam, capital city of the Netherlands. What better way to experience this compact and very international city than from the unique perspective of its waterways? There certainly are a lot of them. This city has over 100 kilometers of canal. Amsterdam is known for being friendly, open-minded, and progressive. It's a popular place to visit and do business. Just think, in a population of only 800,000 people, you can meet 170 different nationalities.
This area's rich history adds a sparkle that's never far below the surface. During the 17th century, Amsterdam shone especially bright, like gold. This golden age was an extraordinary time. Politics, art, and business all reached new levels of sophistication. Dutch shipbuilders revolutionized sailing. Amsterdam boasted a thriving stock exchange, and painters like Rembrandt and Vermeer produced remarkable art. The building with flags atop it is the former Scheepvaart House, or shipping. A group of shipping companies ran their businesses from here. This early 20th century building is considered to be the first true example of the Amsterdam school style of architecture. The front of the building is impressively adorned with statues of Neptune, his wife, and four figures that represent the points of the compass. The building is decorated inside and out with all kinds of nautical symbols, anchors, ships, and famous Dutch mariners. It's now a 5-star luxury hotel.
If the water rose up a bit, when it was
Politically, they have to write in the meeting, you know.
Yeah, I remember.
Numbers by murder or the big bite puts it in the
Ends up becoming a star.
Who?
You say the name.
Okay.
Nog even een momentje, dan sluit de verwarring even aan op iets. Dan ben ik er naar de komst.
We're now traveling along what was once the outer defense wall of the city. The original city boundary was to the right, to the left, salt marsh, and the North Sea. The red brick tower coming up ahead of us is the medieval Montalbanstor, an ideal lookout for sighting potential invaders. It was built to protect the city's shipyards, wharves, and warehouses from attack. From here, Dutch soldiers armed with longbows,
careful your cell
and
phone.
dwarf firearms and arquebuses kept watch over the wide expanses below.
The tower's white spire and clocks were added a century later. They were designed by Hendrik de Keyser, an architect whose work can be seen around Amsterdam, and who you're certain to hear more about on this cruise. The clocks couldn't keep time, and the tower's bells rang out randomly, so locals gave it the nickname Silly Jack.
Not long after the spire and clocks were added, the tower began to list to one side. With some effort, it was pulled to rise. You might be wondering why so many buildings in the city tip to one side or the other. The ground in Amsterdam, a mix of peat, sand, and soil, is very soft. Because of this, buildings were generally designed to be as light as possible. None were very tall, and they often had lots of windows. For stability, they were built on a bed of wooden piles driven as deep as 15 meters, that's 45 feet, into the ground. But if these piles were exposed to the air, they began to rot, and the buildings they supported sank and shifted. Today, water levels in and around the city are carefully controlled to minimize rot. When these piles are made, they're made of
Amsterdam Canal.
Still, you'll see a house with a sideways tilt.
The Montalbanstoren was a place where sailors gathered before setting out to sea. The journeys were long and difficult, and not everyone returned. Legend has it that the women who loved them also came here to say goodbye, perhaps forever.
Kom maar door met die jongen nou bij de kikkerbel.
We are now on the Oude or Outer Trench Canal. During the 16th century, it served as a defense canal. All the city's canals served one or more of these functions as a transportation, a line of defense, or a way to manage water levels. The Oude, because of its size and location, did all of these. Because it was one of the only canals wide enough for large ships to sail, and because of its proximity to the harbor, the Oude became a convenient place to unload cargo.
Dan gaat het zo. Wat gedaan van naar huisje. Als we aan de grond dan van het huisje.
Yes.
We're about to pass through one of the city's old locks. The small, tippy black building was once the lockmaster's house. It's now a pub and cafe full of 17th century charm. Stone floors, wooden benches, and exposed ceiling beams. Its outdoor patio is a great place for watching boats on the canal.
We're now approaching the Waterloo Plane. It's located adjacent to the City Hall, the large red brick building. The original Waterloo Plane was an island built in the 17th century to create a space for Jewish settlers. At the time, it was called Vloeienberg, for Flooding Island. Over time, the name morphed into Vloeienberg, for Flea Island, and the bustling market held here was called the Flea Market.
For centuries, Jewish traders sold their wares here. The market continues to operate and is now known as the largest flea market in the Netherlands.
Umakyat sila dyan pa. Umakyat sila dyan.
Ik kom er snel doorheen, ja? Nou ja, dat is ook een optie. Nou, kom maar op.
Doon sila kumain sa taas. Yung mga palaklak na yun.
Nog een keer wachten, kopje.
We're now on the Amstel River. The round, white-faced building you see next to the City Hall is the Muziek Theater, or Music Theater. It's home to the Dutch opera, known for its daring productions, the Holland Sinfonia, and the world-renowned Dutch National Ballet. The Dutch may be known for their tolerant attitudes, but they also have strong opinions. This piece of architecture was met with heavy protests that have since simmered down. In fact, that's how it got its name, Stopera. It's derived from the movement against the construction, Stop the Opera.
En Europa in.
Mali ka nag-video pa.
Ikaw na mag-video. Share mo na lang.
Naku.
Magere Brug, otherwise referred to as the famous Skinny Bridge, stretches all the way across the Amstel River. Of Amsterdam's 1,500 or so bridges, this is the most famous. It dates back to the 17th century and was likely a narrow footbridge. Since then, it's been reconstructed more than once and grown wider with age.
Arang
Legend
kakit,
has
no?
it that whoever you kiss
Arang
while
kakit
passing
na
under
ano?
the bridge
Ano?
will be
Arang
your
kakit
true
na ba
love.
sasakyan?
Cute nga.
Sorry, we're not going on the feet. So I saved you from that.
Can't stop laughing. No tip for her.
We're now on Herrengracht, or the Gentleman's Canal. It was part of a careful plan to expand the city. In the early 17th century, a time of tremendous physical and economic growth, 3 new canals were laid out in concentric rings. The Herrengracht was innermost. The Kaisersgracht, or Emperor's Canal, was in the middle, followed by the Prinsengracht, or the Prince's Canal.
The wealthiest citizens, shipbuilders, merchants, investors, and politicians built elegant mansions on the Herrengracht. The Kaisersgracht was solidly middle class, while the Prinsengracht had a more industrial atmosphere. Of the 3 canals, the Prinsengracht was the only one that connected directly to the harbor, and its low sides were designed for loading and unloading cargo.
And so, the farther you moved from the city center, the lower your social class. Today, this would no longer hold true. All of the city center is expensive.
You want to make sure
Is this the love bridge?
You can, every bridge can be a love bridge if you like. Every bridge. However many flowers.
Yes, yeah.
I call it flowers. They do. And they're building things like that. Yeah.
Isang dyan naman siguro pa.
Laglag pala.
Ha?
Laglag ng pala.
Isang dyan pala.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, in a few seconds we will pass the Reguliersgracht. After the next bridge on your left hand side you can see the Reguliersgracht. This is the only place in Amsterdam where you can see the 7 connecting bridges in one row. So 7 bridges in one row from all the connecting channels. It's the only place where you can see it. If you want to make a photo, keep your camera ready.
Picture.
No, may ano man, may adlaw. Hindi makita.
That's not working.
Ayan o, puro babae sila pa. Ayan o, picture taking. Aw.
Wala sila ano. Tapos itulak. Tapos picture itulak sa kanan. Impas.
Tingnan mo yung boat nila.
Get your camera ready. We're about to pass by one of the most photographed views in Amsterdam. The 7 arched bridges over Reguliersgracht, or Reguliers Canal. This beautiful and unique view of all 7 bridges at once can only be seen from here on waters of the Herengracht. Our kind captain will be slowing down to give everyone a chance to catch a photo of this unique sight.
Hindi man picture na. Ay, nako.
Here they are. They're coming. There it comes. There's 1, 2, 3. There they are.
Bảy cái cầu đó.
Bảy cái liên tiếp.
We go back on this bridge.
Only in Amsterdam. Only in Amsterdam. 7 collecting.
Kala mo kung nasaan dito ka. Nawani ka lang. Nawani ka. Asa na ka?
Karap.
Ano na ay, karap.
Tulak mo kayo.
Karap. Dali. Mahuli na siya. Pagli na.
Tulak ang tuhod.
Karap na.
While nobles ruled elsewhere in Europe, here in Amsterdam, it was the self-made merchants. During the 17th century, they were earning as much as 700,000 euros a month. That's more than the average rich person earns today. The wealthiest of the wealthy lived here, on the Herengracht.
Today, almost all of these mansions are used for business, as people can no longer afford to live in them. An exception is the city's mayor, whose official residence is at number 502 Herengracht. Look for the gray facade with white columns just before the bridge.
The golden age of the 17th
Pinakamaliit
century
na
was a
sasakyan sa
stellar
buong mundo.
time for Amsterdam.
You know?
From politics and the
Pinakamaliit na
economy to
sasakyan.
arts and
Ayan,
science,
ang cute.
everything flourished.
Ang cute na
And
lang
the
sa
city was
sakyan.
now the most important trade center in Europe. There are many reasons for Amsterdam's astounding success. It had the largest and most
Ganun
progressive
kasi ang
building
ano,
industry in
ang
Europe.
kahawi man ang
Dutch
kamot.
traders
May
sailed
lugar
farther than
nila.
anyone else to newly discovered lands in the Far East and to North and South America. They organized into companies like the Dutch East Indian Company and the Dutch West Indian Company. And the profits from trading staples like grain and exotics, such as spices, porcelain, precious stones, and textiles, were enormous.
Now let's slip back in time to the 17th century. Imagine a colorful scene. Gentlemen in fine clothing on the street, speaking different languages. Elegantly outfitted ladies stepping down into horse-pulled carriages. The clatter of wheels on cobblestones. And dare we mention it? An unpleasant waft of sewage coming from the canal.
Building restrictions limited houses to a width of no more than 6 meters, or 18 feet. But those who could afford got around this by buying 2 adjacent lots and building a double house. Some of these double homes even had 2 different facades. There was no restriction on depth, and with 20 to 40 rooms, a large private garden, and a coach house behind that, mansions often stretched all the way over to the next street.
We're now at the so-called Golden Bend of the Herengracht, the most lavish section of all. Imagine going into one of these sumptuous homes. On the first floor, an elegant entrance hall with marble floors, high ceilings, and chandeliers. Mirrors were strategically positioned to create an illusion of even more space. And single-lot houses would often have a fake door on the side of the entryway to make them appear bigger than they were.
Rooms were richly decorated with painted wallpaper, oil paintings, fine sculptures, and exotics such as Turkish rugs and Persian silks. In the second half of the 17th century, Parisian furniture, Louis XVI style, was very much in vogue.
As a gentleman, you might join your host in a deep-colored smoking room. A lady, your hostess would receive you in a light blue salon or tea room. Here, you'd sip imported tea from China while looking out over a beautifully manicured garden. Musical concerts and grand parties were common, and each house had many rooms dedicated to entertaining. For a first-hand glimpse of life inside an opulent canal house, there are two wonderful museums in the area. The Hilving in Lopenhaus and the Village Holthausen.
Hindi sa champagne. Dili pa man to sa champagne. Itong gigikanan na to.
Ikan Paris na Lusal.
Dili mo sa Paris. Paris. Bago champagne.
Tapos
Hindi. Last Luxembourg. Pagkatapos sa Luxembourg, Germany. Yun na yun. Tapos sa Black Forest, Germany.
Gehoord dat de Roosevelt ook Roland aankomt. Nou, zeg dat naar jou komt. Daarna de leader ook van de Leidse heren op naar de bocht. Die wacht op de park.
Yes, if you missed your photo just a second ago, over here on the left-hand side is also a very nice connecting channel. Not 7 bridges, only 5, but sometimes just as pretty.
You know?
Lido komt door, denk ik, ja. Ja, die zit er direct achter de 5. Nou, maar als die 5 er even opgelet had, die ging wachten, Lido ging wachten op de 5. Nee, wij zijn over de brug richting Singel.
As we pass by these richly decorated canal houses, there's so much to notice. So many flourishes and details, ornate door cases, sculptures, and of course the decorative gables at the roofline.
There are several different types of gables, and over the decades, they've gone in and out of fashion. See if you can spot them all. The oldest type is the spout gable. This basic triangular shape is seen only on warehouses. The 17th century step gable looks just as you'd expect, a series of steps. The neck gable, with its straight up and down sides and scrollwork decorations, came a bit later, followed by the bell gable, which has a more rounded, bell-like shape. By the 18th century, the cornice, a flat-top gable, was most popular.
There's one thing that all gables have in common: the hoisting beam. Staircases were so narrow and steep that furniture and goods were lifted to the upper floors via the hoisting beam, along with a good strong rope, a hook, and a pulley. Goods were generally stored up high to keep them dry during the city's frequent floods. There's a strong tradition of moving things this way, as even newly constructed houses have narrow stairways and are still equipped with hoisting beams.
Until the 18th century, house numbers didn't exist in Amsterdam. Instead, people relied on gable stones. These carved and sometimes colorfully painted stones were set into a house's facade, often above the door. Pictures made reference to the occupant's religion, profession, or their family crest. For example, a butcher might have a picture of a lamb, a dentist might have a tooth, a miller a wing. Illiteracy was high, but such symbols were easy to understand.
As we ride along the canal, keep an eye out for gable stones. There are more than 650 throughout the city. As you find them, you can challenge yourself by guessing what they might mean.
You may have noticed that most of the city's houses are made of brick. That's because bricks could be made locally. They were very porous compared to bricks of today, and had to be oiled, tarred, or painted to protect them against the weather. You'll only see stone on the facades of the wealthiest of homes, because it had to be imported, costing much more than wood.
For the shoppers among us, to the west or left of here is a unique shopping district called Negen Straatjes, or 9 Little Streets. Each street is a block long and full of quirky boutiques and specialty shops. It's a relaxing and fun place to explore.
Ikaw magkuanon po nila. Lisod. Good na. Dili man parehadaan ng hamis. Ikaw magkanak. Di maklaro. Manang ako na kong gilid. Anak na ako pagdukol na. Tulay.
Coming up on our left, at numbers 170 and 172, is a beautiful 17th century red brick mansion with white sandstone accents. This is the Bartolotti House, designed by Hendrik de Keyser, Amsterdam's most famous architect of the time. It was built for a very successful beer brewer named Willem van de Heuvel. He changed his name to Bartolotti to honor an Italian relative who had left him a sizable inheritance. The facade has 2 inscribed panels that reflect Bartolotti's and many other 17th century businessmen's values. They read, through talent and diligence, and through piousness and virtue.
Homes like Bartolotti's were designed to showcase their owners' enormous riches, and yet, this was a time when Calvinistic views predominated. Calvinism is a form of Christianity that emphasizes strict living and industriousness. The rich found themselves in conflict. Their religion required them to be humble, yet with so much wealth, how could they not show it off? Often, they ended up quietly
Yan,
trying
tingnan
to
mo, puro
outdo
babae. Puro babae. Yan din, puro babae. Oo, puro babae. Babae, uy. Pariho.
Too many questions.
Today, the city's many canals are still used for transportation and for managing water levels. And they also have a new function, as a place to live. Amsterdam always seems to be short on housing, and during a real crunch in the 1960s and 70s, houseboats appeared as cheap places to live. The city now has around 2,500 of them. Some are old converted sailing vessels. Others are simply homes set on floating pads. As for cheap, not anymore. Houseboats are now connected to gas, water, electricity, and municipal sewage. And owners have to pay taxes just like anyone else.
Jackson, een van de hier de Lelium. En daarna de
Have you noticed how many homes have brick facades or faces? At first, Amsterdammers built their homes entirely out of wood, but after two massive fires at the end of the 16th century, the city took action. It passed a law requiring that all newly constructed buildings have facades made of non-flammable brick or stone. But all older buildings were still made of wood, and Amsterdam experienced one of its biggest fires along the Keizersgracht during the 18th century. Today, the risk of fire persists. Even though reinforced concrete is used for new construction, many of the older houses still have their original wooden skeletons.
Ik wacht even.
I can tell if you story couldn't have had the picture. Ang haba-haba naman ng ano na to pa oh. Boat.
Yun na yung bahay nila.
We are now approaching Brouwersgracht, or the Brewers Canal. This canal was part of the city's 17th century expansion. It connects the three main canals, the Herengracht, the Keizersgracht, and the Prinsengracht, and used to form the northwest border of the city. With its arched bridges, many houseboats, and beautiful architecture, it's now one of the most picturesque waterways in the city.
But that wasn't always the case. Many of the industries banned from residential areas ended up here. That included the smelly ones, like leather and whale oil processing. And of course, beer brewing, which gave the Brewers Canal its name. Because water quality was so poor, people turned to beer as a safer, healthier drink. Only the rich could afford wine, which was imported, but everyone drank beer.
Many of the buildings you see are old workshops and factories, or warehouses. Merchants originally stored goods in their houses, but as trade increased, more and more warehouses were built. See if you can spot some. Look for triangular spaces and windows with wooden shutters. The shutters help keep goods dry
Bra,
and
dat is Zwaan ook. Bra Haarlemmer, nog de Zwaan van Noord. Bra Haarlemmer. Steeds wel met je aan meer. Dat denk ik gewoon best nou. Dat weet ik niet mee.
No, I'm trying to talk it through. Jesus did it, didn't he?